I ended up getting the $50 Van Bowl fuel pump assembly on Amazon. Well, it says ultra premium performance, so it should be really good, right? But I am questioning my choices a little bit. All right, here's how I am replacing the fuel pump on this 2001 Chevy Suburban. I really didn't want to do anything underneath the vehicle because when you get a vehicle this old, chances are you're going to break something and have to replace a bunch of other stuff, and it's going to be all rusted and dirty. So when I learned that you could just cut a hole in the floorboards, I thought that sounded pretty attractive. I do have the 60-40 split bench seat, and I probably could have figured out how to separate the two pieces, but I didn't try too hard. I just pushed it out far enough to gain access to where I needed. I watched some other YouTube videos and got the dimensions of where to do the cutout in the floorboard. So 13.5 inches from the edge of the trim piece here to this edge, and then 6 inches from the first seat bolt here back, and then it's 12 inches back and 7.5 inches across. And I did use the 4.5 inch grinder with a cutoff wheel. I know some people recommended against that because of sparks and gasoline and fires. I decided just to take the risk and do it. You obviously need to be very careful with how you do that, but you judge your own risk and situation. It worked out really well for me. And I cut here, there's a kind of a hump in the floorboard piece. I cut through that and folded it back this way because otherwise it's hard to fold that bent piece. So this worked out really well and got good access. It did take a little bit of persuasion on that rusty retaining ring, but I first took the pry bar and my blammer here to loosen up all of these retaining spades. I'm not sure what they're called. I just kind of knocked those around a little bit until I felt like they were freed up, and then it just took a couple of good smacks on the edges of the ring here to knock it loose, and that worked out pretty well. So it is 18mm bolts on the seat nuts to get the seat pulled out of there, and I used an impact gun with a decent extension on just so that I could get down in. You know, you have to reach around the seat in a couple of different spots, and an extension was very helpful. And one Phillips screwdriver bit. There's some of the trim pieces are held on with some screws, and then I got PPE for when I did my grinding, and a pry bar and a blammer for the persuasion and removing. So we'll see how the rest of this project goes. Alright, I just wanted to show a couple of the differences here with this Amazon pump. The filter is the most obvious one. There's no external filter piece like on the OE pump. It's got this plate that wraps around, it's got holes in it, but it looks like the holes in this plate are roughly the same size as the holes in this filter. So hoping that that's going to be okay. To get the hoses switched over, you need to take these connector pieces off. You just pry these out a little bit from here and pry them past this little retaining part. And yeah, like I said before, the plugs look to be the same. I'm still waiting to see if those will work without rewiring or not. All right, here is the moment of truth. I've got the new pump installed. The wires did plug in just fine. Before, it would not start at all. I hear the pump running, that's a good sign. Oh my goodness, it's a beautiful thing. All right, here it is installed. The wires, or the connectors worked just fine, which was great. I'm glad I didn't have to rewire anything. The old rusty retaining ring took a little bit to work it around. I just tapped out on one side and then the other side and kept working it around until it was tight, but that was fine. And the hoses clamped up and sealed just fine. So far so good. We'll see how long it lasts. My next task is to get this flap put back down and sealed up. Here's what I had available: aluminum flashing and self-tapping screws. I'm gonna go ahead and give myself a 2 out of 10 for craftsmanship on this, but you know what? It's all gonna be under padding and carpet and under the seat, so I think it's gonna be just fine. I saw some people going crazy with like RTV or sealant and pop rivets around the whole edge and using aluminized tape and different stuff like that. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use duct tape because I happen to have some right here in the truck. So I'll let you know if I get any bad fumes or have anything bad happen. So sorry it's so gross in here. We got some popcorn and some Cheetos and crayons and buttons and who knows what all else in here. But it took a little bit of finagling to get all the 8 bolt locations to line up on this 60/40 bench seat. It's a combination of, you know, moving the seats around and pulling and tugging on stuff to get it lined up. This location back here, just as a note, is where you want a deep well 18mm socket and a decent extension, and that makes it much easier to get at that one. And here's a little bonus fix. This was driving me crazy. This little flapper piece on the back of the seat, where when you have the seats down, the plastic piece broke, and I was always flopping around and getting in the way, so I finally put a self-tapping screw in there, and that worked really well. What in the world? Oh, he must be changing his fuel pump. That makes sense.